cars rolling hard in a wild twisted maze. Leather, steel and fire, the open roads are thrown by your life telephone, we're breaking every bone. Adrenaline surges, brace on the fall. Hitting it with HardWire, hear the engine scream. Living fast and reckless, this is our metal dream. Riding hard, never slowing me. In the spotlight we shine, a biker's brutal journey. This life is ours divine. With HardWire, the crowd screams our name, chasing down the shadows, we're addicted to the fame. Chains rattling loud, the brotherhood's alive. Every episode turns up, we're here to survive. From dusk till dawn, we're the keys of this thrill. Hitting it with HardWire, hear the engine scream. Living fast and reckless, this is our metal dream. Riding hard, never slowing me. In the spotlight we shine, a biker's brutal journey. This life is ours divine. On the edge of chaos, we embrace the feel. Hitting it with HardWire, we'll always be here.
Hey, happy Easter. What's happening? How's everybody doing? I got Frank's in here. Papa, what's happening? Man, crazy weekend. Got to take what's up, Soundproof? How's it going? Got to take the camper out for the first time. Running around like a crazy psycho on Friday, trying to get everything ready. I try to think of everything. I'm pretty good about that. But no matter how much you try to prepare for everything, you just never quite prepared for everything. What's up, Tommy? What's happening? Never quite prepared for everything, no matter how much you try. And wouldn't you know it, as soon as we get there, the old lady sets the cast iron Dutch oven thing down in the sink and pop, breaks the fucking sink. As soon as we get there. And then I'm running around like a crazy maniac trying to figure out why we ain't got no hot water. I got everything hooked up and I can't get no hot water. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. And then, YouTube to the rescue. I watch a couple of YouTube videos, and yeah, when they winterize them things, there's a valve back there that they shut the hot water off. And then I started flipping valves, and then I started getting some hot water. And then one of the other videos I started watching says if you got only partially warm water, there's a crossover that you shut off. And yeah, I shut that off, and so it wasn't crossed over. Then we had hot water. And I'll tell you what, them campers are not made for taking a shower in. I mean, granted, if you got one of them super nice luxury, ginormous ones, they got a regular size shower in them. But yeah, they're not made for taking a shower in. I tried to take a shower in that little thing. I'm like, yeah, what a pain in the ass some things are. We had the full hookups and all that. When I was getting ready to leave, we have a black tank flush on ours. And I was trying to flush the black tank out, and I read the little warning thing on there. It says, don't use the back tank flush with the valve shut. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to fill it up a little bit, so I'm going to close the damn thing and let it fill up a little bit. Bad deal. Don't do that. Had water inside the camper like spraying in the camper, and then I'm leaking water everywhere. Yeah, it was a bad deal, man. There at the end, but we had a good weekend. It was nice. Got to hang out with the old lady, all weekend. I mean, she's a good old lady. She doesn't drive me crazy too much. Uh, yeah, some people have really nice ones. Now, the one I have, it's nice, but it's small, and it's good for me and my old lady, and it's good for my little truck, my little F-150 to pull it, and works good. And when we were leaving, we lost the damn safety pin for the trailer. And I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do? So I take a zip tie and zip tie across that thing, so it can't like pop out. Then I'm thinking, man, I don't think that's probably the best way to do that. I'm like, there's got to be something I can do. And then I found a regular pin that's just a regular like cotter that goes on the trailer one for the hitch. You put it through and you put a cotter in it. And I just put a little cotter through it, and I was like, that sounds better than a plastic uh, zip tie, and drove it home. Uh, all in all, it went fairly well once we figured everything out. I am not an expert with campers, but we figured it out, and we're getting slowly but surely we're getting to be decent with campers. We stayed in it for 3 days. It was really nice. It was windy, really windy, so I couldn't put the awning out, which sucked because it would have been nice. Uh, the campsite we went to is like on top of a great big hill, and we're right on top of the hill, and there was thunderstorms and everything rolling all around us, and we lucked out, man. We were in a little spot where we didn't get nothing. A few little sprinkles, and it was it. A lot of wind, but we didn't get any storms. We lucked out. God was on our side. He wanted us to have a nice weekend. What's up, Gary? What's happening? I know that's probably not the most exciting thing you could have imagined to hear about, but uh, they do not. Just I'm telling you, the bathrooms are not made for tall people.
Yeah.
Not made for big, tall guys, man. I'm telling you. I had a hell of a time. And scooting up in the bed, smacked the top right on the top of my head on the corner of one of them cabinets. I went to scoot up, went bam, fucking whacked my head. It's all right. There ain't nothing in it. I just can't go too deep, or air will pop, fizz out, and go like a tire. So I had to order a new sink. I figured a top mount drop-in sink, because the reason why the sink fell down is there's supposed to be clips up under there that help support the sink, and there's no clips there. It was just glued in. And that's it. And as soon as a little bit of weight got applied to it, that glue popped out. Well, I figured buying a drop-in sink be better. The dimensions are really close. It's a wee little bit bigger, so I'm going to end up having to cut. But I'll be able to drop in. And then since you drop it in, the ledges around it set on top of the countertop, so you don't have to worry about all that. How you're going to support all the weight and shit. It'll be supported. What's happening, Lee? Mr. Easy, what's happening? I forgot to put the show up again because I was out camping all weekend and whatnot, and everybody's a little late getting here. It's all good. Thank you for showing up at all. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I seen Naomi made me a shit emote or whatever they're called. Now we could shit in the chat. That's awesome. She did a good job. Seems like a pretty cool chick. I look forward to meeting her if she's going to be there on the uh, weekend, 4th of July weekend when we come down. The bad thing is I got a big event coming up that I got to haul that camper to. See, I got what's the date today? The 20th. About 3 weeks. So I got to get this camper done. I got to get that sink put in. Yeah, we got some stuff to do to get it ready. But you never know how it's going to act till you take it out. I won't know how it's going to react being hooked up to a generator because I was on shore power, they call it, and mostly it went well, I'd say. What's happening, Warren? We smoked some pork loins. Turned out good while we was there. We took the smoker. Oh, I also found out if you have a camping stove and you want to hook it to the propane outlet on a camper, you have to make sure you take the little regular regulator off of it. Because what I did was just buy an adapter that was a propane adapter, and I just screwed it on where the propane goes. Yeah, that don't work because the camper's already, it's not as high a pressure, and since it already has a regulator up by the propane tanks, then if you put it in the way I did, you can light it, but it'll just go and fizzle out on you and won't stay lit. So that didn't work out real well. The old lady missed a bag of stuff that she had packed. So she had to come back to the house and grab a few things. There was one of the things I wanted to put on the door. It's a little magnet thing that hooks to the door. Had her come back and grab that. There, Steve, I'll click on that for you there. I forgot. I'm too busy yapping. What's up, Dean? Too busy yapping. I'm talking to you guys, but I'm not clicking on the comments like I'm supposed to. My bad. Which one is it? This one? Way to go, HardWire. You screwed that up. And I come down here and I typed out the thing for the show so quick. I guessed at what episode it is. I'm really not sure. I put 35. But we're getting up there, man. It's hard to believe we're up to doing the show once a week and we're up to 35 weeks or something like that now. Happy Easter, Dean. Yeah, I seen pictures of the stuff Lee was doing there on Instagram. Good stuff. Yeah, I didn't have any. We didn't, other than some amateur issues, amateur camping issues for people who don't know what they're doing. Things went fairly well. Got to relax, which is unusual for me. I don't usually get a chance to relax for the weekend. Usually on the weekends, it's like, you go from one job to your second job. If you're in a club, it's like that's your second job. You're running for that. You just seem like you never get a fucking day off. It was nice to relax for the weekend. Friday was a bit crazy trying to get everything packed up because, you know, I'm a bit of a worrywart. I like to always say it's better to be over prepared than under prepared. It's better to need it and not have it than, or need it and have it than need it and not have it. Oh, I didn't sleep very good though. Them camper mattresses do suck. I'm gonna have to get a topper for that thing. That thing's hard as a rock. It was a brand new mattress too, and it was hard. Hopefully, there was enough room for a topper on it. The old lady broke something. I didn't break anything. I accidentally sprayed some of the inside of the camper with water by accident. Hopefully, that'll dry and there won't be no problems. For the record, if it says on the camper, "Do not close the valve," they're not kidding. It's not like a uh advise. It's not like advice. They mean don't close that damn valve. Uh, why they have 50 different shutoff valves on the damn hot water tank, I have no clue. It's kind of dumb, but I'm sure there's a reason. And then I couldn't. Yeah, they have these anode rods that go in to the hot water heater. I could not thread that SOB in there for nothing. I'm in there just. You should see me when I get mad. Ask my old lady if she's still on here. You should see me when I get mad. I could start getting flushed. You could tell my blood pressure starts going up, and I'd imagine I turn 10 shades of red. I start wanting to throw shit. I start cussing like crazy. I mean, I could not get that thing to thread in. I'm looking in there, and the threads are all gunked up and rusty, and I'm like, man, that's all bad. I hope it ain't ruined. So I got on Amazon and bought me a cheap tap to tap out the threads. Hopefully that'll be okay. I'd imagine it would be. I couldn't get it in very far, so hopefully they're just gunked up. I'll clean them out with a tap, and hopefully that'll be good. Try to make sure I don't get metal shavings up in there and whatnot. Uh, the sink I got for her is kind of neat. It's got a cup washer. You set the cup on, and it sprays water up in it. That's pretty neat. I've never seen one. Uh, get 10-inch or yeah, it's all matters. Is that a top or is that a mattress? Oh, and it takes forever for a RV fridge to get cold. Good lord, we was only gone for 3 days, and it took almost the whole 3 days to get really cold. I mean, but then by the time we left, everything was frozen. But boy, it took a good 3 days almost for everything to get cold. I did not get around to replacing the damn. Hey, what's up, redneck side? What's up, Mike? Mike's here. Time for a.
Yeah.
Hey, Naomi, thanks for the shit emote, man. That was cool. Now we can shit in the chat. I'm excited for Monday so I can shit in the chat. I want to throw the shit emote, man. As soon as I seen it, I was like, oh man, I gotta go to the chat and put. Oh, he's not on right now. And I didn't get a chance to make the show on Saturday. I seen it pop up, but I was busy trying to get things done on the camper there. And then I got a big box to put the battery in, and I got to mount it on the weird little tray thing on that the battery's on now. I'm gonna mount that. It's like a truck toolbox, but way smaller. But it fits a big battery in there, nice. And then I got to figure out how to keep the battery from moving around. I'm gonna have to probably put some kind of straps on it or something. There's not a lot of. There's about 3 inches on either side of the battery, 4 inches, something like that, on either side of the battery. So I could stick a little bit of tools in there. I was thinking it'd be nice if I had a little extra room in there to stick some stuff, but not very much. So how's Mr. Motorcycle Whips doing? I still got to get down there and get that bag. I keep forgetting about it. I remember when I wasn't in a motorcycle club for a while. I was in one and got out for a while, and you gotta be careful what you wish for. I was bored on the weekends, and I'm like, man, I ain't got nothing to do. I'm gonna go start hanging out again, find stuff to keep me busy. And boy, be careful what you wish for, man. Because now I can't find time to do anything. I bought uh some little weird strappy things. I just got to figure out how to anchor it to the bottom of the metal box. I got to figure out. I bought some of the little strap that look like kind of like battery straps. I thought about like getting one of them big clamps that clamp the battery down, but that seems like it would be a pain in the butt to try to mount that. Uh, I have what I seen when I looked up like a strap bolt down spot. They look just like the things I took out of the corners of my pickup truck. I still have them out in the garage in my toolbox. I was thinking about bolting those on to the both sides, and then I could run the straps through them, and then cinch it down that way. I thought about duct taping them down. You don't know, man. You don't know. That's where I'm from. I'm from the hillbilly land where duct tape and duct. If duct tape, JB Welder, or sledgehammer don't fix it, man, nothing will. But I'm an engineer. I got to set a good example, so I got to try to do things right way. Got to try anyway. What'd I do? Oh, yeah. I accidentally hid one. How do I undo it? Oh well. Papa, what was it you just said? I missed it. I think I went to click on it and accidentally hit it. I still ain't put a TV in it yet. I got to do that yet too. I got to get the bracket upstairs. It's one of them swing out brackets, and I got a small TV. I got to put in. I need to find a spot to mount one for the front of the RV because they got it towards the back, above the dinette, which is kind of a dump. But it's the only place to put one that they had before. Whoever sold it and traded it in took the freaking TV out like assholes. I got to mount a TV there, and I don't know. I'm not sure how to find the studs in the walls, so I could mount another one. There's room for one right beside the bed above a window, and I'd like to figure out how to mount a mount to the wall there, but I'm got to know how to find the studs, and I don't know I don't know if they're wood or aluminum studs or how I would go about that. But yeah, I watch just about everything on YouTube, so I figured I'll put a Fire Stick or something. Or I got an NVIDIA Shield. I could take my old NVIDIA Shield and put it in there. I stream everything, so if a lot of these campsite grounds have Wi-Fi, this place had Wi-Fi, but it was really slow. It was like 500 megabytes or something. It was really, really slow. Uh, if I turned the Wi-Fi off, my phone was way faster without it. But we were on the top of a hill, like, and we were facing the way we were We pulled the way we pulled the RV in, we were like right on top of the hill, like just enough room for one of them rugs that go under the awning, and then poof, it dropped off down the hill. And but we were the view we had was looking across the valley. You could see the other hill there. I mean, it was a really good view. But yeah, the somebody there commented to my old lady, "We like the way you set up your camper because most people try to pull it in the other way and faced their awning towards other people. We turned it around, so all we was seeing was the hill. We was facing opposite of everybody. And I think everybody thought we wanted to be antisocial, but it wasn't necessarily the case. But we had like that gave you the feeling of almost like you wasn't in the campground. If it wasn't for all the noisy little shitty kids, noisy little kids all being noisy and riding their bikes. And one of them had one that sounded like a little girl had a bicycle. It was really loud and it looked like a regular bike. I didn't see. I was looking for a motor or something on it, but it sounded almost like one of them ones that had a clicker, like cards or something in the spokes. But I didn't see. I tried to look, but you don't want to look at a little kid and then somebody fucking turn around and go, "Hey, why is that guy looking at my kid? Is he some kind of pervert?" You know, I'm just trying to look at her bike, and I don't want nobody thinking I'm some kind of a weirdo. So I like. Well, I am a weirdo, but not that kind of weirdo. Oh, yeah, I haven't had cable, hell, I can't remember the last time I had regular cable. I grew up with I always had cable, but whenever I about the time Netflix started catching on, I abandoned cable a long time ago. Hey, there's Carney. What's happening, Carney? You've been kind of, elusive lately. Every once in a while, you pop in someplace and then gone for a long time. We ain't seen you much lately. You was posting a lot of shows there for a while. Is it getting to be your busy season? I know here pretty soon I'm gonna be stupid busy, and it's gonna with club stuff, and it's gonna be hard to do a lot of things. Squats and more squats. We packed up the camper. My old lady did the squats. Unhooked it. I said, "You need anything? I'm gonna go out there and unhook the sewer. I'm gonna unhook the electric." She goes, "Nope, I'm good." And wouldn't you know it, as soon as I unhook everything, she goes, "Oh, damn it, I gotta pee." So she said, "Watch out for me. I'm going to squat next to the camper." I said, "I don't want to walk through it. Go down the woods or something. Go down the side of the hill." She squat next to the camper. She goes, "I'm a hillbilly. I don't care." See you later, Papa, if you're taking off. Thanks for stopping in, man. I looked into what's that Starlink or whatever for campers, and yeah, that shit's expensive. I mean, if you was a full time RVer, maybe but it's like $160 a month. But for all the more we go, yeah, I can't imagine doing that. I bought a fiberglass pole that's like 20 foot tall. It's a flagpole, and I bought some of them glass suction cups. I was going to suction cup that pole to the side of the camper, and then I got uh one of them the Wii Boost things that you put on your car for boosting cell phone signal. And then you run it's got a cable input for cable, and hook that into there, bring it inside, because it's got a cable outlet. I can bring that inside, hook that to the booster, cell phone booster itself, and run that. That's all like then boosted cell phone signal. So I'm hoping that'll work. I didn't get a chance to try it out this weekend. I wish I would have done that, but There's a lot of places, especially if you live out in the country, that don't have real good internet or good options for internet. Yeah, they started offering, I think, 7 gig here. I got the 2 gig, and I think I'm good with that. I think that's more than I wanna say more than I'll ever use. But I still remember my first computer was like the hard drive had 10 gigs in it or something like that. I was like, "Holy moly, nobody will ever use that much." Then DVDs come out and theirs are like 5 gigs or something like that. Yeah, 5 gigabytes on them. It doesn't take long. Like within a year, they'll find ways for us to chew up all that bandwidth so that they can sell us more. Well, what are you gonna do? I don't know. We did do a lot of sitting and just sitting and chilling and talking and staring at our phones, sitting next to a fire. We tried to make kettle corn, but we screwed it all up. I think the old lady didn't put enough like oil in it. It started popping it, and then the popcorn kernels were like soaked up some of the oil, and then all you seen was when she pulled it off was a whole bunch of like there was popcorn in there, but there was a bunch of black kernels in the bottom and no oil. I think she burned the rest of it. You wouldn't think you could screw up popcorn, but we did. We screwed up the popcorn. We're gonna work on it, see if we can figure it out. See if we can figure out how to make kettle corn. I tried to do it the easy way. I even got the Orville Redenbacher's like butter flavored oil, the kind that when you squirt it on your popcorn, it tastes like it came right out of a movie theater. That shit's I like that stuff. It's good. I never tried cooking the popcorn in it. Usually, I would make microwave popcorn, squirt a little bit of that butter flavoring oil stuff on it. Tastes just like it was at a theater. I even bought that cheddar. I think it's cheddar, cheesy jalapeno sprinkles that you can put on popcorn. But we didn't get any popcorn. But we did smoke some pork loin. Had some good sausages. Damn it, that's what we forgot. We forgot to get out the wiener sticks and make sausage. We made sausages in the damn house or in the camper because it was going to rain and we didn't have any firewood the first night. And then the second night we had some firewood and we tried to kettle corn. We forgot to roast wieners. I got these cool telescopic telescoping wiener roasting sticks. I found it sitting on the bench here.
Shit.
Can't let it go to waste. And on the way home, oh, those were terrible tasting. On the way home, my old lady, when we got home, she had to go get her kid, and she starts texting me saying her car's like flat, the lights are flashing, and she's not driving right. I looked up, uh, what that light is. It looks like the auto start stop. It's an A with a little circle around it with an arrow, but it has an exclamation point next to it. And she said it was flashing. And then when it started acting funny, the engine light was flashing. And I told her, I said, the engine light is probably, they have like a retarding engine retarder on the thing whenever a lot of them like brake or steering lights go off. It slows your engine so you can't mess your car up too bad. I think that's what the engine light flashing was. Uh, I looked. I got to go out with the reader and try to read what the codes are. But I was reading that somebody said that if that A thing goes off, it's something to do with the steering stabilization system or something like that, and that will cause the engine light to flash. I hope it don't cost arm and leg to fix. Luckily, my boss in the club is a Chrysler mechanic. So I'm going to be hitting him up. He works at a Chrysler dealership. Be hitting him up. Well, when my old lady bought it, she was naturally attracted to a vehicle that goes duh, duh, instead of putt putt putt. It goes duh, 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 like me. You know, she wanted something not so bright. She was attracted to me, so naturally she bought a vehicle that was, uh, yeah. If it starts going and dying when you hit the gas, that's more than likely just your engine being retarded by the system when it detects that something else is wrong. Yeah, anytime those lights start flashing, it's bad news. Uh, I had my Ford Ranger that did that one time, and the transmission started acting stupid, and it was a common problem for them. I can't remember the name of the gasket, but there's a couple of plates in there. Uh, there's a name for that plate, but there's a gasket that's kind of smushed up in there, and it's got pathways through it. And it was not uncommon for Rangers to have them gaskets get messed up. I called a whole bunch of transmission shops trying to get advice on what's going on, and if you call enough, you might get lucky, as I did. And one transmission shop, the guy was willing to give me advice on the phone, and they don't get paid for that. So naturally, I understand when they don't really want to give you advice. But every place was quoting me at least like $700 to even look at it, and he said that was a common problem with that gasket and Rangers, for them gaskets to get messed up. And the gasket was, I think, $20, and the cost to refill the transmission fluid, which wasn't cheap either. And me and my buddy did it. One of my friends, we did it ourselves and saved myself like $800. It wasn't too hard to do. You didn't have to really tear in the transmission much. But we'll hope that it's something simple. I noticed her steering wasn't acting right before. When she first bought it, it made a little bit of a clunk and was a little wobbly. I thought it was. She thought it was normal. I thought it was a little off. So I'm wondering if it isn't. She doesn't have something going on with her. Uh, I don't know if it's got the rack and pinion or whatever, but I don't know if anything has that. I'm not a specializer with the specializer with the damn things. That's not good at that stuff. I do not have the patience to be a mechanic because I get really mad really quick when stuff doesn't go my way. Oh, my brakes start squealing. When you know it, you haul a trailer for the first time, or I hauled it home, but I mean going somewhere for the first time, and then your brakes start squealing on you. But at least I knew what it was. And then all of a sudden you forget things, but everything like you remember all of a sudden. But the mechanic told me that because I had to take it to a mechanic, it was acting making some weird noises. I thought it was a wheel bearing, but it turned out one of my calipers was frozen, and they put a new caliper on it. And he did tell me that one of my brake pads was about most of the way worn, but it's still. He said I could still drive it for a little while, but I'm gonna want to replace it. And yeah, now I remembered that. Now I remembered that. But at least I know know what's going on with my truck. I got to do a brake job on the front. Just finding time to do all this stuff, man. I liked my little Ranger, man. I did. I liked my little Ranger when I had it. Dude, I had 150,000 miles on it when I sold it to some girl I knew. And dude, she drove it until the spring shackles broke, which is another common problem on Rangers. The spring shackles get rust out and break. Some of you wouldn't know because if you don't live in the rusty areas, the snow belt like we do, like rust isn't really that big of a deal to you. You don't see it all that much. Yeah, I do not have the patience, and I did not want to start working on my own bikes. I used to be one of them guys that would rather pay somebody else to do it, but then I started getting to the point where I don't have the extra money to pay somebody else to do it, and mechanics are so expensive now. Yeah, that I had to start doing my own work on my bikes, and now I'm glad I did. But you should still see me anytime I'm out in the garage working on my stuff. The neighbors all have to send their kids in the house, and that's no joke because tools will fly, cuss words are going every which way. They're learning all kinds of new words, and I'm making up cuss words. There's so many that there already are, but not enough to describe how angry I get. Some girl I knew that sounds like a country song. Hey, and yes, she was an ex-girlfriend. I always got along with most of my ex-girlfriends. It was the ex-wives I didn't get along with. The ex-girlfriends, most of us got along. We weren't like buddies or anything, but we get along cordially, and we could talk and say hi, how you doing, and be friendly. I mean, if you ever really cared about somebody at some point, you don't really stop caring about them. You just the caring transform takes another form, and towards the ex-wives, it was a really bad angry form. Not really from me. Usually, it was from them because I don't really hold grudges. I'm not a grudge kind of holding person. I try to let that kind of stuff go, man. Because if you can help it, don't hold grudges, man. Don't let that kind of don't let people live rent free in your head, and don't. It's just not worth it. Not worth it. Just let things go. Yeah, if people drive you nuts and they you can't trust them or they do something to break your trust, then you don't trust them. You'll learn people. Like there's only a few people I would trust with certain things. There's only a few people I would like let borrow money because I know they will pay me back. That's a rare, but you have certain friends and people that are in these kind of categories of how much you like them or can trust them, you know. But you learn people, and yeah, you don't really want to. I'm not really a grudge holder. I don't hold grudges against people. I let things go. It ain't worth holding on to. Clear your mind, let it go. I forgive, but I don't really forget. You know what I mean? You forgive people, and but you learn from that experience, and then you know what you can or can't trust them with. What's up, Code? Good to see you, my man. Good to see you. Happy Easter. God is good. Today's the day when the Lord rose, and that's awesome. I never really understood the whole celebrating him when he got like the movies and all that, like the sadness from him being crucified and all that. And if it wasn't for that, the whole world would be a different place, man. It's good that all that happened. You know, it's a shame it had to come to God sending His Son to die. It's a shame it had to come to that, but you know, it is what it is. Don't ask questions, kind of thing. We'll never understand it entirely, but it's a good thing. I lost my train of thought. Oh, I got to go find. I can't, and I don't need it for years. I'm glad I have it. It's somewhere, but I got a code reader for any vehicle. It's called a Blue Driver, and it plugs in Bluetooth to your phone and reads codes, and it can wipe out a lot of codes in the cars. It does a little more than like your really El Cheapo ones will do, and I gotta find it. It's around here somewhere. I think I might have put it in the glove box of my truck, thinking I might need it some either for my truck or somebody else is going to ask me if I have a code reader. When you don't have one, everybody asks you if you have one, and then when you buy one, nobody asks you again. Isn't that how it works?
Yeah.
Wow,
I hit almost all of them, not except this one. Yeah, that's the one. Everybody asks you for a tool. Don't buy it. As soon as you buy it, nobody will ever need it, including yourself. And that's the truth. But then the minute you go clean things out and you go, man, I bought this. I never used it. It's been sitting here for years. Hell with it. I'm not going to need it. I'll throw the damn thing away. I'm tired of it taking up space. Then, like a week later, you'll need it. Never fails. Hey, if your brain freezes up on the air, you always, and in this case, you got buttons to
Yeah.
entertain people for a minute while you try to reboot your brain. It's like unplug it, plug it back in. What's up, Hank? I had a doggy named Hank. It was one of my favorite doggies. Of course, I named him after Hank Jr. I was a Hank Jr. Big Hank Jr. I was a member of the Hank Williams Jr. fan club when I was a kid. That's how much of a nerd I was. But back in the day, when I was younger, hardly anybody liked country music. It was really unpopular to like country music, and I was a big country music fan. My older brother liked things like Metallica and whatnot, and he used to pick on me pretty ruthlessly, like all the other kids did. And it's funny how now that we're older, I started listening to things like Metallica and Slayer and stuff like that. Now, all the guys that made fun of me for listening to country all listen to country and listen to Hank Williams Jr., Hank Jr., and all the stuff that I used to listen to that they used to make fun of me for. It's funny how that works out. How old are you? Maybe I am. I don't know what it was. For some reason, I was particularly drawn to Hank Williams Jr. I don't know why. Uh, all of his music, like all the things he used to sing about, all the womanizing and all that, I was like against it. But I didn't have a girlfriend till I was like 16 years old or something. And then, let's see, I was a fat kid, and then I lost a bunch of weight like around 15, 16 years old. And it's funny how if you were a fat kid, you kind of inside, you always your brain, you always think of yourself that way. Like I'm fat now. I have been like in different periods of my life. I've been fat, skinny, fat, skinny, fat, skinny. But even when I was skinny, I still saw myself as fat. I don't know why that is. It's burnt into your brain, I guess. I don't know. Weird how that works, though. New country really sucks. Every once in a while, there'll be a catchy one come out that I'll like. But other than that, like I was looking for shows that I could go see, like the weekend festivals and whatnot, that I can go to and party at the camp. Not since I finally got a camper, and I don't recognize half the names that are on these concert lists anymore. Even the metal concerts. I mean, even though like the bad thing is there's hardly any good younger rock and metal bands, and all the really good stuff is they're all grandpas. Like the really good ones, Metallica and Slayer. Slayer's retiring, Ozzy. All the really good ones are old people. Now, I don't know what it is with the younger generation. Heavy metal and stuff has really kind of upticked in popularity, but there's no really good younger metal bands anymore. I don't know what the deal is, and well, maybe because they keep trying to change the music, and there's a lot of people that are resistant to that. They don't like it. They like the good old stuff, even with country. I like the older country. This newer country is crap. I like probably about to the '90s. Everything after that's kind of there's a always a sprinkling of a couple of good songs here and good songs there. And it's a shame Toby's gone because Toby used to make a lot of good music. Even when Toby's first album come out, Toby Keith, I knew he was going to make it big because he was really talented. And the funny thing is a lot of the really big stars in country music all come out with their first albums right around the same time. Whenever I was in high school, it was Toby Keith, uh, Tim McGraw. I remember Mark Chestnut didn't get as big as I kind of thought he would. I don't know what happened to him, but he's actually just bought concert tickets to see him play down here. Because I'm old. I remember my grandpa taking me to see when I was a kid some country singer at an auditorium that he liked because they were old and they don't do big shows anymore. Yeah, now I'm that guy. I'm like my grandpa. I'm going to see Mark Chestnut. See what other one? Nickelback. I'm going to see Nickelback. I was trying not to wear like when we went camping. I didn't want to wear no like my club gear. I had my hat on because I always have my hat on, but I try not to wear any of my shirts or anything. And I was wearing my Nickelback shirt. You get some weird looks from people wearing a Nickelback shirt. With Nickelback, they're people either hate them or they really like them, but there's not a lot in the middle. There's not a lot of people in the middle on that one. But Nickelback's just popular to hate on. Their music's pretty good. Granted, I'll give you this. I haven't really listened to a lot of their newer stuff, but a lot of their older stuff I really like back in their poppy, cheesy days. But they had a lot of catchy songs. I really liked Travis Tritt. Yeah, that's the one lead. Travis Tritt. Whenever that was about the same time. I'm a member of a country club. Yeah, that album, one of his first albums, I come out. It was Travis Tritt, uh, Tim McGraw, Alan Jackson. Alan Jackson's first album. Alan Jackson. He kind of really fizzled out. I don't know what happened to him. Tracy Lawrence, all good, great country singers. I I used to really listen to a lot of country, but I got to be in a mood now to listen to country. It's I don't know. I'm more of an angry person these days, so I listen to angry music. That's what heavy metal is. Heavy metal is angry music. Music you listen to when you want to go fast or you're mad. I started out on a moped, thank you. I actually did. I had a moped when I was a kid. I used to ride it. As before I was old enough to actually legally ride it on roads, but I lived out in the country. I used to ride it around and up and down the road and back and forth and stuff down by where I lived at, where I grew up. And I graduated to a scooter. I had a scooter. Uh, Now I just have a much larger scooter, and I every once in a while I'll ride up that same road I used to ride when I was a kid, and I just can't help but picture that in my head and think, here I am, like what is it, 40 years, not even more than that, 40. Wait a minute, I'm 48, right? Yeah. So no, about 35 years later, going down the same roads, it's on a much bigger bike. It's just funny. I find the humor in it, and it's nostalgic for me. Clint Black's another one there, Lee. Yeah, and a lot of them, the ones there was a lot of like one hit wonders in there too. But I knew I knew who was going to make it big. You could tell it and you could feel it in their music. You could hear it. Another one that didn't do real well that I liked was Gary Allen. Smoke Rings in the Dark and but he kind of adhered when music started changing. He stuck to the older style and he just never really made it big. I've never seen Guns N' Roses live. That'd be one that would be interesting to see. I don't know. Hopefully he's not like Motley Crue. I, Something always shied me away from Guns N' Roses, and I think it's Axl Rose's attitude. Then again, I like Megadeth, and Dave Mustaine is one of the most synonymous for being egotistical pricks, like of all times. I used to really like Slipknot, and I used to listen to a lot of Slipknot, but then I found out what a douche. Uh, oh, what's the lead singer's name? I forgot. I'm drawing a brain fart. Uh, I found out what a douche he was, and then I don't really listen to a whole lot of Slipknot. I got certain ones that I particularly liked whenever their first couple albums come out that are still make my playlist, but I don't really listen to much of them anymore. It's funny. That's why I tell people that politicians should stay the freaking hell out of certain things like politics and speaking your mind on things like that. If you don't want to turn off like you want as many fans as you can have. You don't want to like disenfranchise a whole subset of your fans, man. Because there are quite a few bands that I don't really like anymore because I heard the lead singer open their mouth or one of the band members. Well, usually the lead singer pretty much is the band. It's usually the lead singer that makes some really stupid comment about something dumb they believe, and I just it makes me like hate them. Corey Taylor, that's it. Yeah, he is a douche, a douche canoe. Whenever I found out he was complaining about fans holding their phones up during concerts and like breaking fans' phones and like spraying them their phones with water to try to break them and stuff. And while I don't really like people like nonstop using their phones, it is what it is, man. It's the modern world. It's modern times, and if you're a musician up on that stage, you must have lost touch with your fans if you're trying to break their phones and not let them record some of this. It's a big event to a lot of people. It's a huge event to them. It's something they want to remember like forever. There's a lot of concerts I went to where I wish I had at least one song recorded for the memory. And that's kind of what I do now is I'll like wait till they play one of my favorite songs and I'll record them playing that, and that'll be kind of my memory of it. And then I'll usually buy a shirt or try to buy a shirt if I can afford it. I recorded a little bit at the Theory of a Dead Man concert, and he's got a lot of off the wall political views too. Corey Taylor does. I'm like, it's Guns N' Roses one of the, I liked a lot of Guns N' Roses was a kind of a weird phenomenon, man. They come out with one album that was really big, and then their second, they come out with wasn't it their that Patience, which was okay album. Then they come out with some weird ones, and then they come out with a double album, and nothing really stuck. So they tried to do some weird shit to try to make it stick, and it I don't know. There was some good music that come off of that. Use Your Illusions 1 and 2. There's some good stuff, but most bands will throw out their bad songs. Well, they don't think any song's bad, but usually they'll be able to talk to some people and pick out their best songs because artists have been doing it for years. They've been finding out some artists have huge back collections of old songs they never released. There's a reason for that. Guns N' Roses wanted to release them all, and some of them sucked. Some of them really sucked. One of my favorite Guns N' Roses songs, believe it or not, wasn't even one of the really rocky songs. It was "I used to love her, but I had to keep her. I used to love her, had to put her 6 feet under, and I can still hear her complain." Yeah, I used to love that. I used to laugh my ass off at that song. Yeah, Gary Allen had a lot of good songs, man. Yeah. Dude, I saw Ozzy back in I think it was '01 on Ozfest. He was older than fuck then. He couldn't even headbang anymore. He'd come out and he had to do this like a robot, and he had nurses on standby. That was back in 2001, man. I don't know how the guy's still going. It must be that pact he made with the devil or something. Yeah, Lee's name dropping all the good ones, man. I forgot about Aaron Tippin too. Ain't nothing wrong with the radio. That's one of my favorite ones. But he had a bunch of good ones. He was wasn't he a truck driver before he decided to dabble in music and then kind of become a country star? Aaron Tippin's on tour now, I think, with Colin Ray. Colin Ray was another good one. Uh there was what was that dude's name? I used to like Barry something. I seen him live in concert. And I'll tell you what, he was such a good singer, but he was boring. Nobody wants to pay music to go see a concert just to see a guy stand there and sing, and he was boring. They want to see a show, man. You jump around on the stage or let off fireworks if you can't jump around on stage too much. Do something. People want to see a show. Guar's on tour now with Static X and Dope, which basically the same band, but the one Wasn't it the lead singer from GWAR that died? I kind of want to go see that show, but I don't understand. Did they just replace him? I don't follow GWAR. I remember them from back in the day, and I used to kind of like some of their songs. I hear Bret Michaels is a fantastic guy. To be honest, I have not seen Poison, and they are, or Bret Michaels when he goes out. Because, be honest, the lead singer, he can go out. Any band could play the music. The lead singer is pretty much the band. But I want to see either Poison or Bret Michaels in concert. I haven't seen him yet. I hear he's a fantastic guy. I hear he's still got a great voice. Still does really well in concert. That's what I hear. Queensryche had one song that I liked. That was it. Silent Lucidity. That was about the only song I think they had I liked. But I never listened to it. I never gave them a chance. I never really listened to any of their music to find out. To be honest, I don't. I think he's. I know he's not American. I can't remember what country he was from, but I'm behind in the chat here. I'm trying to catch up if I'm skipping over some of you guys. I liked what's his name, the newer guy that filled in. I thought he did a really good job too. I haven't seen Alice in Chains. They're on my list, I think, of bands that I want to see. I've seen a lot of different bands, and there's not too many bands that I really care to see anymore. But I would like to go see. I missed the chance to see Static X when Wayne Static was still alive. I was like he was around, and I said, you know what, I'll catch him next year because I don't quite have the money. And look what happened. That's horrible. But I would like to see the new reincarnation of Static X. Isn't bad. They're decent, but they're and Dope. I like Dope too. They're pretty decent. I think their concert's not too crazy expensive. Those are my favorite. uh, they're going to come down to West Virginia on the Ohio border. There, I'm thinking about going down and seeing them if I have the money and the time. Iron Maiden, yeah. There's a lot of like all the like. Well, I don't know if that offends Mike or not, but the younger generation don't. All the really good rock metal bands seem to be aging out here, and there's not a lot of young rockers filling their shoes, man. And that's going to be bad. That's a shame. But the new version, did you or was it? Are you talking about the old version? I mean, the way he sang, to be honest, is not. Once you, if you listen to a lot of it and you get used to it, that's pretty good. But to be honest, before when I first heard them, I thought all their songs sounded the same, and I didn't really. But I learned to like them. You listen to some of it, and then you're like, yeah, this song's really catchy. Yeah, jam, jam, jam. Yeah, go faster. Yeah, it's a good song to fly down the highway to. Yeah, they had them kind of songs. I have never seen Iron Maiden. They was on tour with Judas Priest a couple years ago, and I said, dude, that's the perfect pairing. I would love to go see that. And I forget what was going on, but I did not get a chance to go on that tour and go see him, which sucked. I wish I would have went. That's one of the things, man. If you can go see one of the bands you like and they're coming around, yeah, especially if they're aging out like a lot of the rock and metal bands are, don't pass up on it. Same thing with your country singers too, man. I had a chance to see Waylon and Merle Haggard, and I passed and they died. I'm not saying that there's some kind of a coincidence. All the concert I pass on, somebody's dying or anything, but yeah, go. Make it a point to try to go, especially the legends. Go see the legends before they're not here anymore. Hank Williams Jr. I don't listen to a lot of Hank anymore. Some of his older songs that used to be my favorites are still in my playlist. But I used to like all of his songs. But now it's just the usuals. But, off basically his greatest hits collection that makes my playlist. But I got to go see him because he's getting up there. I got to get a chance to go see him. Everybody, you got all your rock and roll legends and country legends. Go see them before they're gone. The Allman Brothers would have been cool. I never got the chance to see Garth Brooks. Something about Garth Brooks rubbed me the wrong way. When he was really, really popular, something about him, I liked his music, but something about him that was really off-putting that I didn't like. I don't know if it was his ego. Probably that, because that usually one of the things that drives me nuts. I can't stand somebody that's super egotistical. I just don't like people like that. Usually don't get along with them. Not always the case. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, since I just said that, let me. Hey, wifey, are you still on here? I could just say it. Say it. We'll get her down here. Tom Petty was a legend, dude. I had a friend of mine bring the books down. Books I bought. A friend of mine said he went to a Tom Petty concert. It was one of the best times he ever had. I didn't get a chance to go see him. He said he was smoking a joint. He said, and people were lighting up everywhere. He said, and you'd pass it to the next guy, and he said he said he at one point in time he had a doobie in like every finger. He said because people were passing and he told many damn joints around. And he said the cops it was illegal then. The cops would all just kind of look but they didn't. It was a concert and experience. They didn't care. I would have liked to see him before he went. I do remember that. But there was supposed to be a movie that come out that went with that or something that was to go with that whole thing, and they never even made the movie, which was really dumb of him to release all that because it was confusing to people. Well, some people that's not uncommon. Like believe it or not, back in the day there was like Hank Williams Sr. come out with Luke the Drifter, but everybody knew it was him. Thank you. While I'm thinking about it, I wanted to show everybody. Oh, it's backwards. Can I change that? Oh, I'm gonna drop it on my face. I think I can change that. Yeah, mirror my camera. Does that look better? Can you make out my books? Buy the book. Buy the book. See the book? Brotherhood and Betrayal and Power and Betrayal by James Hollywood Machikari. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think I am. Buy your books. And I got mine. Got a smacker on that one from China. And Hollywood autographed them for me. Well, I paid for the autograph version. Try to be supportful. I ordered. He was really cool about it. I seen that he was releasing the new book, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and buy one. And I got on the internet, and I hit order now, and I wasn't paying attention to which one it was, and I bought the old one. And he messaged me and said, "Did you want the new one? Did you order the old one by accident?" I said, "I did. I wanted the new one." And he says, "No problem." I said, "Well, uh, how much is it for both?" He said, "Well, for you, well, I won't say just in case he doesn't want to do that for everybody. I don't know, but he asked me for yay amount of dollars, and I sent him a couple extra bucks. Try to be supportive. Uh, he was really cool about it. Signed the books for me. I got to call him one of these days. He gave me his phone number. Uh, there are plenty of things I think I'd like to talk to him about. Uh, but buy them, buy them. Go on his website. Oh, go on his website and buy them. The set. It's I haven't read them yet. I volunteered. I told him if he wants to make movies out of them, I'll come act in his movies. I told him I have a hard time reading books. I don't know why. I just have I read a book in jail because that's all I had to do. Uh, that was about it. I don't like reading. I'd rather watch a movie. I'd rather watch the movie, even though they're not nearly anywhere near as detailed. But I can understand why you couldn't squeeze it all into the time frame they have to make movies. But yeah, I told him, I says, I'll volunteer. I'll come act in the movie, or help you make it or something. I have a hard time reading. I do. I can't sit there and I don't know if maybe it's ADHD or something, but I struggle. I do have the capacity to visualize it. And sometimes if I get into it, I'll get into it a little bit, start reading a little bit, then I'll run out of time, set the book down, I'll never come back to it because I'll remember how much I hated reading, and I don't get back to it. Well, that's the thing about uh, thing about it, man, is it's not hard to look biker. You could look biker, but doing a good job of acting it, you have to have an understanding of it. And most of the biker movies I've seen, you could tell who has any experience, actual experience with bikers or clubs because it shows. You could tell. You can tell. And you could tell the writers too when the writers don't get enough advice from actual bikers because you see shit and you're like, nah, no, that would never happen. Never, ever. And I've seen a lot of shit. So, if yeah, some things still never cease to amaze me or surprise me. I've seen a lot, and you never see it all. So you don't hear me use the expression "I've seen it all." You never see it all. There's always something new pops up, and you never stop learning. A lot of people always say, once a prospect, always a prospect. You never stop learning. And I understand like the concept of being hard on some prospects because you want to make sure that they're going to stay around. But I was never good at being that guy. I don't like ordering people around, so I let everybody else do it. And every once in a while, hell, the one time I don't know, the one dude just didn't like me. I asked one of the prospects to grab me a beer out of the cooler, and I got in trouble for it. Told I was supposed to get my own damn beer. I was like, dude, I just asked him to like get in the cooler and hand me a beer. Like, what difficult was there some difficulty in that? No, that guy just didn't. The brother that said that at the time didn't like me. So it's funny how that works. But he was above me, so I had to shut up and listen. You gotta love that. When I was younger, I used to listen to some Aerosmith. Aerosmith's one of them bands, for some reason that whenever they was really popular, like I think it was some of their like when they reburst like mega popularity there with what was it like Big Ones and some of them other ones when they've been around for a long, long, long time. But they in the '90s they kind of made a surge again, and I listened to so much Aerosmith that I couldn't listen. I really don't listen hardly ever listen to them anymore. It's the same thing with AC/DC. I burnt myself out listening to so much AC/DC. AC/DC is just now getting kind of like 30 years later, getting starting to trickle back into my playlist a little here and there. Uh, but there are several bands I can't listen. I cannot listen to, even though I know they're good bands. Led Zeppelin's one of them. I listened to so much, I burnt myself out on them. Can't listen to them anymore. But I think everybody's got those ones that when they were younger, they listened to so much of it they can't hardly stand to listen to it anymore. You know who was it? Kurt Sutter is. He's the one that directed all and wrote all or the Sons of Anarchy and that. I got blocked on Facebook by Kurt Sutter because I went on a rant bitching at him about the last season of Sons of Anarchy. I said, dude, you spent all this because I'm a movie TV kind of a buff. And I watched all of them, and I made sure I told Kurt Sutter in a long message on Facebook what I thought of how he did things and how I thought that last season looked like absolute garbage because he went and turned against everything he set up in all the other episodes. Like the whole thing. He, he granted, I'm like giving him that so much of the stuff is fake, obviously fake. And I'm granting him that part of it. But the way you butchered your own story is awful. Like everything you set up, you just look like you went against all of it and just kind of it was I didn't like the last season. It pissed me off. But yes, I watched all of them. But I that's how I got blocked by Kurt Sutter. Because like everything that he spent the whole thing, yeah, like I said, spent all that time setting up, he just kind of destroyed and went against everything else that he did. All the things, all the whole club said that they stood for, the things they said they wouldn't never do. All of a sudden, they were all doing it like it was nothing, like it was normal, and it was just, it was disgusting. And I'm not afraid to admit that I've watched it. I found it, in a lot of places, more of a comedy than a suspense, but it's interesting. So are the people who like try to get into clubs and because they've watched stuff like that and the attitude that they bring with them and the things they think are going to happen. Yeah, that's those ones are interesting. I grew up watching what was it? There's two names for it, with Charlie Sheen, Beyond the Law, and shit, I can't remember what there was another name for it. The movie actually had two names, and it was I think overseas it was released under a different name. That and a movie called Stone Cold with uh Bosworth, I think it was Bosworth was in it, and uh Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Even though that wasn't a huge like, but those are the kind of movies that I watched and it's seen like bikers, and I was like, I want to do that someday. I want to do that someday. At this point, whenever I'm watching other shows, I can recognize like, oh, that's that one dude from was on Sons of Anarchy, but I can't remember his character. Uh, the young one that ended up being Marilyn Manson's bitch. He's been showing up in a lot of TV shows. I can't remember his. Wasn't it? What the hell was his name? Wasn't it like Juice or something? I forget. But at any rate, he's been popping up in a lot of shows. Uh, him and a couple of other ones. The guy who played Opie's been played in a couple of. He played in a series about hillbillies or something that was interesting. I watched. It was pretty good, actually. Yeah, yeah, I was right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he's been showing up in movies, but that's what I always remembered him as. Always remembered him as his prospect period. Whenever they like made him wear a diaper and hold that sign or whatever, or he passed out, and that's anyway. I remember like the things I remember about him most. The funny parts whenever he was a prospect and he was Marilyn Manson's bitch. Huh, I don't know how they talked him into that. And the one guy I just remembers being the gay guy. He was kind of, yeah. I don't think the guy. I think that was the last season when they really brought him like out, and yeah, that was something else. And I don't really think that he would have survived in any club I've known. Sonny Barger was in Sons of Anarchy as one of the guy that had the stoma in prison that Opie, I think it was Opie was talking to. That was Sonny Barger, one of the old school Hell's Angels. Uh, so he was one of the ones that at one point during the seasons tried to give Kurt Sutter advice, and there was one of the other ones. I think it was Happy that was actually in a motorcycle club, and I don't remember. Somebody told me about it, but I don't remember. Yeah, they had a lot of cool. I don't know. Sons of Anarchy had a lot of cool moments. It had its moments, some interesting, and it was definitely, without a doubt, way a dramatization of reality, like really dramatized. It, and like most of that stuff might have happened. Like I think it had to have been based on a lot of like Sonny Barger stories from like the 70s, the 60s, and 70s. But motorcycle clubs ain't been like that in a long time. Long time. Well, I'm gonna call today and go check out my old lady's buggy. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna go see what the codes are on that. If I could find my code reader. The show turned into some interesting conversations that we may pursue next week. We'll see. Uh, Thank you for joining. Thanks for coming and stopping by. I'll see most of you tomorrow on Mike's show. Uh, Always there's watch. You can watch. There's a few of us that go and watch Hollywood and China's. I think it's the Motorcycle Madhouse. Go over there and watch. Hang out with them in the morning. I've been doing that more and more. Uh, because yeah, I know I've given my. I never said that anything bad about Hollywood. I wouldn't because I I don't judge people that way. That's not in my nature. But I said that I don't think we would get necessarily like the kind of person I'd hang out or get along with. But that opinion is veering. It's changing. The more I've talked to him, the more interesting, and the more I start liking him. So admit when you're wrong. I guess I don't. I still have never met him. I still could be right, but based on my interactions and talking a little bit with him online, my opinions have started to change of what I said before. At any rate, I got to go get this done, and daylight's wasting. I will. Happy Easter, everybody, and happy day to you if you don't believe. I don't. I do, but I don't. You have free will, you have free choice. Enjoy your decisions afterwards. enjoy your choices because it'll come back to you. Everybody have a good day. I'll see you next week, and maybe we'll continue some of these interesting topics that we brought up because some of those are some of my favorite conversations to have, and maybe we'll revisit it next week. And don't forget, Mike has a GoFundMe link for the party, 4th of July party. If you can spare a few bucks, you want to since no, I don't have any members or anything like that. I haven't had enough time in watch hours and all that yet. But if you want to donate to that, even if you can't come. And thanks, Papa. Even if you can't come, I think he left, but thanks. Even if you can't come, throw in a couple bucks, buy us a beer, buy Mike a beer. We'd much appreciate it. Next week I'll get the link or something and put it in the description or some on the screen, or I'll do something with it. I keep posting it in the chat. I know everybody's seen it. I know you all seen it. Throw some money in there, doggone it. All right, I'll see you guys next week.
Hittin' it with HardWire. We're burning it bright. Living on the edge, we'll ride through the night. No fear in our hearts, just the roar of the steel. Together we rise, now this life feels real. Yeah, a new path on that twisted black line. A YouTube dream where his past can't confine. With every rev, he's reclaiming his soul, teaching the world how to ride, how to roll. Rising up high when the shadows surround. HardWire's the name, and he's making it loud. Hittin' it with HardWire.